Hey guys, how's it going? It's Rob Sutton. We're back here with another review today, and today we are actually going to talk about the Philips Hue lighting system that I have throughout the house here at home. As you know, the Philips Hue system is a smart LED bulb light system that you can get to do a lot of different things. So we're going to talk about what actually consists of the bulb system itself that we have here, how it compares to other options that you can get online, and then I thought it'd be kind of fun to take you room by room and show you how we've implemented this system in our house, because each room takes it a little bit different. So let's get at it. Ready? 1, 2, come on, start. There we go. All right, guys, so let's get started by talking about the Philips Hue system specifically. So the Philips Hue system is actually based around the actual bridge itself, which you can get for $60. Now, if you're looking to get started with Philips Hues, I suggest getting one of the starter packs, as it makes your first 2 bulbs incredibly cheap. And what that bridge does is talk to up to 50 bulbs within inside the house. Now, you can operate these Philips Hue bulbs without the bridge, but you lose the features like scheduling and being able to operate the bulbs from outside of your house. What this bridge does is connect to your Wi-Fi connection, which then connects to the app and gives you that full control. Once you set up the bridge, you set up your lights, and that's where the Philips Hue with the bridge makes this very simple. Since there's only a single Wi-Fi connection, you basically just plug in your lights, turn them on, and then you hit the search function and it finds your new lights. At that point, you can name your light whatever you want to and assign it to different rooms. Once it's assigned to a room, you can then start scheduling the lights to act how you want them to during the day, or just even control them straight off the app itself. Through this app is where you also set up Amazon Alexa, HomeKit, or anything else that you want to link to these devices. So like with all of our rooms, we actually can control these lights with Amazon Alexa when it comes to dimming, turning them on, turning them off, or any other function we want to do with them through voice control. One of the other cool features about these bulbs when you're using the hub is that you can also set up motion sensors in the house so the lights come on as you walk through the house. We aren't currently doing that here, so I won't have a demo of it, but it is a nice feature when you use the hub as well. So let me go ahead and give you some pros and cons of the actual Philips system, and then I'll talk a little bit about what you could set up online for a little bit cheaper. First, the Philips Hue system has a rock solid connection through that bridge. I have some friends that have done some other versions in their house, whether it be Wi-Fi bulbs or with another bridge, and they have run into connection issues here and there that has made it so the lights aren't acting like they should be at a certain point in time. During the years that we've had Philips Hue here, we've never had an issue with any kind of connection to any of the bulbs in the house. So that's been a huge plus. 2, since you're using the bridge to connect to all 50 bulbs, the app development and all the ease of use of setup and everything else is miles away from a lot of the other competitors that you'll find online. And that is simply because it's just so easy to use. Once you screw in a bulb, it just shows up, you name it, and you put it right into the room. And then this one's actually the biggest for me. Philips Hue has the largest selection of product offerings out of any of the companies out there. In our house, we have a lot of different kind of bulbs throughout the house, from Edison bulbs to candle bulbs to regular bulbs, flood bulbs. They even make outdoor lighting, strips, TV lights. There's all kinds of stuff that you can buy out of their product catalog that you just can't get with other brands. So what you want to do once you first get a smart bulb is stay within that ecosystem so that you're not using multiple apps and multiple services to control the lights in your house. So if you have a house that has a lot of different kinds of bulbs, there really isn't much more of an option than Philips Hue when it comes to product offerings. It also has the widest range of accessories that you can use with it, including switches. So you can use these smart switches that do dimming and everything else straight off a wall unit. You can also get things like an HDMI box that you run your HDMI cable through, and it'll actually make your lights match the scene of whatever you're watching on TV, which is pretty cool as well. So what is the major drawback to Philips Hue, and why might you not consider it in favor of the other options online? It's really cost. The bulbs are more expensive, the bridge is right there about the most expensive or close to the higher end. And when you're buying a lot of lights, it can really add up when you have a 10 to 15% higher cost of the bulbs versus the competition. But if, like I said before, you have a lot of different bulbs in the house, or if you're going to be using a lot of them, the setup and reliability of it can justify that extra increase in price. So what you're going to get with most of the other options online is a more limited bulb variation. So you get just your normal kind of standard bulbs, none of the real special stuff. And a lot of times you'll have that each bulb has its own Wi-Fi connection. While some companies, it'll actually kind of create this mesh environment with, if you buy multiple bulbs, you do have to individually connect each of those bulbs like you would any other device in your house. So now that we've kind of go over what I think of the Philips Hue system, why don't I show you the rest of the house and why it's been integrated really well for us. I will say, if you're in an apartment or a single room scenario, it is probably better off going with one of the cheaper options, as you won't have as much variation as we do here when it comes to scheduling and bulb type. So let's go take a walk around. All right, guys, so we're starting off actually in my son's, what we call what used to be his playroom, but now really it's a gaming room. The reason we're starting off here is actually the lights that are controlled up here on the ceiling are plain white Philips Hue bulbs that we put into our stock fixture. Now, the reason we really wanted them in here is because this table right here that the actual TV is sitting on is the dog pins that we had made for our 3 boxers. Now, what this allows us to do is if they're ever pinned up in here and for some reason it gets dark outside, rainy or whatever, we can actually turn on these lights and dim them for the dogs so they're not just sitting in the dark. As a plus side, it also allows us to just randomly turn off these lights if my son ever forgets to turn them off as he's walking out the door. This is a very simple implementation that allows us a lot of flexibility with the dogs and with our son. Plain white bulbs in a stock fixture, but able to be controlled off-site and put on a timer if needed. All right, guys, now welcome to the master bedroom. Now, these 2 lights you see behind me, again, are 2 plain white Philips Hue bulbs. What's interesting about these lights is that they're actually not on a switch. When we first moved into this house, there were no lights above the bed. So what we ended up doing was had an electrician come in, wire power to these lights, and then hook them up through Alexa on an Amazon Dot that's sitting on the table over there. It allowed us to save a little bit of money on the install because we didn't need to run a wire all the way to the switch panel that's next to the main door. So it makes it so all you have to do is, Alexa, turn off the master bedroom lights. Hey Alexa, turn on the master bedroom lights. Hey Alexa, turn the master bedroom lights to 50%. So you have full control over the lights without having to actually run a switch. Now, of course, you can also handle it through the app, but it's much easier to just walk in the room, talk to Alexa, and you've got your lights on. All right, guys, so as we continue the tour through the house, we are now sitting in the living room, and what you can also see is the breakfast area back there in the corner. So again, these are just the plain white bulbs and 2 regular lamps. Now, what we did unique to this room and the breakfast room is we actually put these on a dimmed schedule. So when we go to bed, they dim for the night, and then they dim back up again about 20 minutes before we come downstairs in the morning. It makes it so we never have to worry about turning lights on and off. It keeps a little bit of ambient light in the downstairs if we need it during the night. And it's all hands off. So all we have to do is just go to bed and not even worry about it. When we come back downstairs in the morning, everything's ready to go. So we have 2 lights on those and the other 2 lights in the corners that are all on that same schedule. All right, guys, so now here we are out in the garage. Now, one of those things we always forget to do during the day is to actually turn off the outside lights out in front of the garage when we go to work or out. So they end up staying on all day long when it's really sunny like it is out today. So we took 2 of the white Philips Hue bulbs, put them in the stock fixtures up there and dropped them on a schedule. They automatically turn on at sunset and automatically turn back off at sunrise. Now you never have to worry about whether or not you turned off the outside garage lights anymore. We just leave the switch on, the schedule takes care of the rest. All right, guys, so now we're actually in the kitchen, and all of these can lights that you see in the ceiling are actually the RGB version of the can lights from Philips Hue. Now, while we love the ability to do all these kind of different little tricks with them with different colors, different scenes, you can make it do all kinds of crazy stuff, especially with this many in one room. The reason we actually went with the RGBs in this case is because this room has a lot of browns in it. So with our dark floors, cabinets, and countertops, when you use a soft white stock bulb, the room became almost kind of orange looking. So what we're able to do with these RGBs is pull the color temp up just a little bit to more of a pure white, and it brings more life to the room and makes it feel a little bit more open. You can start changing the white balance of the lights to change the room. Then of course you can do your different scenes. So guys, we'll end right here in my office, and what we have is one last white bulb sitting in a lamp in the corner that we can control the lightness up and down. I really don't do too much with that one, just kind of leave it as is. So what you can see through the tour of the house is we actually have a lot of different variations of bulbs, and we're actually looking to add even more. Most of those Edison bulbs are actually getting switched out this week for Philips Hue versions as well. If you have a lot of bulbs, a lot of differentiation, and a lot of need for control over scheduling, brightness, and those kind of things, that is where the Hue system really shines, between the app development, the bridge, and the variations they have in different bulbs. So we're actually about to redo this entire office space and add even more lights to it as well. And we're even going to start using some of those little strips that you can actually control ambient lighting with against this wall. So guys, there you have it. That's why we use Philips Hues in this house. I know it's more expensive than other things that you can find online. You can do this cheaper. The problem is we have way too much variation and way too much scheduling. If you are in a smaller environment or you are down to just a couple bulbs that you want to be able to control, there are cheaper ways to do this online that I will link below, along with all the hues that we use here in the house. So guys, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Be sure to give this video a like if you liked it, and be sure to subscribe to this channel for more reviews like this in the future. Until then, on to the next one. Thanks guys, see ya.